In this video, you'll learn how to build a small deck for your grill. And this is perfect for a grill or a smoker. In our case, we're using it as a smoker, but the end result is the same, a small area that you can put your grill on and you can work comfortably from there. For this project, you're going to need the wood that you'll need to use for your decking. You'll also need a leveler, some type of cutting device. We have a miter saw that we can use for this, but a circ saw would work well for you. You also need a drill, structural screws, deck screws, concrete if you're going to concrete in your posts, or pea gravel or crushed concrete like what we use. And then if, like us, you need to clean up your deck, then you'll also want to do a pressure washer or have a pressure washer as well. And once you have all of that, then you're ready to start. First thing you want to do is measure out the area where you want this to go. For us, we wanted to go to the side of the house off of our main deck. We actually already have a deck, and we just wanted to fill up the space around the corner because our smoker, when it's smoking, we just don't really want that around on our deck. And that might be the case for you as to why you're doing a grilling station. So this is a perfect little nook off the side of our house that we're going to build this off of. For us, we also decided to use just the width of the deck that we already had, and then we just did a little bit of a length. And you just kind of want 2 to 3 feet on all sides of the grill as a comfortable working area for you. The next thing you want to do is simply clear out the area. If you have weeds or grass, you want to remove all of that. For our case, we have crushed concrete that we had laid down, so we pulled some of it out. And then you want to measure out and cut your framing boards and then screw them together. So you want to make kind of a box system for this. And then go ahead and install the joists in the middle. Now we used older wood that was laying around, and so you see we're using clamps to move some of the board around. Since it was laying out, it had gotten a little warped, and so we're putting it together before we screw all the joists in. And now it's ready to install. Yours, if it's a freestanding one, you're going to want to dig your holes next. Because we're adding this to an already standing deck, we simply are using this one side as our ledger area, as our ledger board, and we're going to screw it in with structural screws and build off of that because this deck already has 2 dug in posts right there, and so we're going to build off of that. If you don't have that, then you'll want to dig for holes, like I said, and make sure you use your leveler to make sure that everything is level before you screw it in. Once that side is ready, on the other side, we went ahead and started digging our holes. Now, the one on the right is fine. It goes straight up against the corner, the inside corner of the frame. The one on the left, the hole that we had to dig was a little bit off, and that's simply because the foundation of the house, the concrete underneath there comes out about 4 inches. So you see our hole is offset by about 4 inches. We simply didn't want to mess with the house foundation. Next thing you want to do is, as you're digging your holes, you'll want to go at least 2 feet down so that you can put your posts in at least 2 feet. And from here, you can either choose to fill it with concrete and add concrete for this structure because it's a smaller one and everything else was done with concrete, our main decking. For this one, we actually just used crushed concrete and we packed it in really well. Next thing you want to do is screw those posts in to the frame, level it, make sure everything is nice and level. And then the next thing you want to do is simply add your boards. So you want to measure it out and make sure that you have the right length. What some people do is they'll get close and then they'll use a circ saw all the way down. We were able to measure this out pretty well and use it as a template. So we got all the boards the right length. And if you come to the end, you may have to rip your final board. If your boards are not spaced out and you might have too much at the end. We got really lucky and this whole thing worked out well without having to rip the final one. Now all the boards are on, the final thing is to go ahead and secure all of the deck boards. You can use deck screws, that's usually what we use. However, in the last project that we used in building our own deck, we actually used the Camo hidden deck fastener system. That's just a fancy way of saying that the screws go in the side. And I really like the look of that because there are no deck screws in the face of the board. So it's a nice clean look. But since yours is a very small area, just get some deck screws and you'll be good to go. And then because our boards are older that we had lying around, we went ahead and did a final pressure washing to clean it all up. And then in our next video, we'll also show you what we did to stain. You see the blue right there, and what we also did to stain the deck. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to see the next video on how we stained it. So let us know in the comments below, where did you decide to build your grill deck around your backyard? And thanks for watching.